Hey everyone, sorry for the long wait. We had some technical issues that we had to sort out, but we're here now. We're finally here and ready to go. So I'll quickly introduce myself and my co-host. So my name is Abhishan. I'm a second year civil engineering student and I'm the head of events at SESS. I'll hand it over to Vanessa to introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Vanessa and I'm studying a Bachelor of Electrical Engineering and I'm one of the SESS ambassadors.
Thanks, Vanessa. And now finally, we'll introduce our guest for tonight, Christina Markovic. She's coming down from Nova Systems. So Vanessa, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your attendance.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Christina, we'll talk a little bit about yourself first of all. So talk a little bit about what you do essentially and where you're stationed and all the kind of stuff that you're doing at Nova Systems.
Yep, sounds good. So I graduated last year with a Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering and Commerce from Monash University. And since then, I joined Nova at the start of the year as part of their 2-year graduate program as an engineer. The kind of work I do is primarily now in the systems engineering domain. And I'm mainly working with land vehicles and land related projects with the Department of Defense at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So where exactly are you stationed at the moment?
So I'm currently stationed at Victoria. So we have two offices down here in Victoria, one in South Melbourne and one in the CBD. So I mainly go to the Nova office in South Melbourne, but being on client side, I usually do a lot of work at the Victoria Barracks as well.
Sweet.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty sick. So I wanted to quickly ask you, so why exactly did you join Nova System and yeah, how's it been going so far?
Yeah, so I'm decided to join Nova Systems primarily because they're an Australian-owned defence consulting company. So my main interest after university was working with complex problems and different technologies that you wouldn't probably usually be aware of. Other reasons I joined Nova Systems was for the fact that they really care about your professional development and training as well. So when you come out of university, it can sometimes be a bit of a scary place not knowing what industry's like. But at Nova, they really tailored to showing your different. Yeah, they're really tailored to showing like what kind of work you'll be doing, making sure you have knowledge in your project area and things like that with your professional development.
That's pretty sick. So what kind of stuff do you work with at the moment, especially as an aerospace engineer?
Yeah, so with Nova Systems, with the graduate program, we mainly get 3 different rotations that we can work on. So this can include different work in land, maritime, aerospace. There's a bunch of different capabilities that you can work on. So my current rotation's in land, so I don't actually do much aerospace related work at the moment. It's more got to do with vehicles. However, there are opportunities in future rotations for me to transfer into that should I wish to later on. More of the work is really systems engineering focused, so your knowledge from university, even though it might not be specific to aerospace or of whatever your major was, it's really interchangeable throughout projects, so you can really kind of translate your knowledge across different domains.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of diversity, which is a lot of fun that I like.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can only imagine how sick that would be just to see like all the stuff like in person and all that kind of stuff. So I will, yeah, actually you wanted to show a presentation, so I'll get that up now. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Hopefully it should come up.
Yep, so I guess in the presentation I'll give a bit about what Nova Systems does as a capability or as a consulting company and a bit more about my journey as well.
Yep, sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready.
Yep, so yeah, that's kind of the start of my presentation where I'll be talking about a bit about Nova Systems and also my experiences so far. So next slide. One back.
My bad, sorry.
No, my bad. Yeah, so our vision at Nova, it's really to be a leading engineering services and technology solutions partner, and it's got a focus on solving complex challenges that really matter to our clients. As we have seen over the past year, the world is full of constant changes and uncertainty, and with that comes lots of challenges with how do we keep our nation safe and the people in them. So Nova's really devoted to solving these kinds of problems, and understanding them, and yeah, anticipating them as they come. The core foundations at Nova include the people, clients, and value generation, which is what makes us a really kind of unique place, I think, to work. As a company, our values are trust, professionalism, passion, and community. And one thing about Nova is we're really proud of the work we do, and we're passionate about providing good quality work as well. Yeah. So to give you an overview of more of where our offices are located, so as I mentioned before, we have 2 offices in Melbourne, both in South Melbourne and the Melbourne CBD. We also have offices across other states and have been expanding across the entire world as well. So we have a presence in New Zealand, UK, Ireland, and also Norway, which is pretty cool. Mhm. Yeah, next slide. Yeah. So to give you an overview of how big Nova Systems is, we were founded in 2000 and are the largest Australian-owned engineering services provider to the Australian Defence Force. In the 19 to 20 financial year, we contributed over $200 million to the economy and have reinvested 17 million of this into research and development in the last 5 years. We have over 650 professionals and 200 strategic partners, and with that, that number continues to grow. So that's kind of the different companies that we work with as well to provide solutions to different problems. We're also ranked number 18 as one of the best places to work in Australia, and number 3 for the most innovating company awards in Australia as well. Yep. So the Nova Group is actually comprised into kind of 4 different companies that all offer different consulting services. So the first and probably largest one is Nova Systems, and this is the main professional services provider that specializes in engineering and management services. The second we have is Geoplex, so they do more geospatial stuff. And that's got to do with more geospatial technology and things like software and data solutions as well. We also have 2 degrees, that is software orientated, and GVH Aerospace, that is purely aerospace and space focused projects. Yep. So to the type of services that we offer at Nova and the opportunities that you can probably get a chance to work across include things like test and evaluation, system safety and certification of different engineering projects, so capability requirements, geospatial consulting services, and also project management services. And all these kind of cover different systems engineering parts. Yep, so the projects that Nova really undertakes are aligned mainly with national interests. So this will include defense and security, cyber, aerospace, situational awareness, geospatial services again, lots of special missions work, so the projects can get really interesting that way, space, and also essential services. Yeah. So one thing that differentiates Nova is that we are also the largest Australian owned and controlled defence engineering company, and we have been working with these capabilities for over 20 years now. Some of our past notable projects, which you could have had a chance to get involved with, and the type of work we do include different work with helicopters, pilot training systems, fighter jets, and also air traffic management and control. We've also in the past had a good presence in maritime work, so working with the frigates, submarines, and also different communication stuff. Yep. So I guess if you are interested in partaking in some work experience with Nova while you're still at university, we do have a work experience program. It usually runs for 12 weeks between November and February, so that's over the summer break, and it's open to students in their penultimate year of study. Examples of past projects that students have worked on throughout this program include digital engineering projects. So an example of this was a soldier combat system project, which used knowledge in systems engineering to optimize models and designs and then build different digital engineering environments to enhance these capabilities. And there was also a project offered related to surf life-saving competitor tracking. So the purpose of this was to improve athletic capabilities, improve event safety, and spectator viewing of different events. So there's lots of variety and cool things you can get involved with over the summer if you choose this path. Mhm. Yep. So aside from the work experience program, we also have the 2-year graduate program that you can take part in. So this program is more for if you're looking for permanent full-time work after university. And as I said before, it's typically structured that you get 3 rotations over the 2 years with that will all go for approximately 8 months. However, this value may vary if depending on the projects available and which state you're in. So you might end up spending more time on one project as opposed to another. The projects offered are across different parts of the business. So you may work with internal Nova projects, but you may also get an opportunity to work with Nova's clients, such as the Department of Defense. Ideally, Nova will at least try to put you in 2 different programs so that you can have face-to-face opportunities with the customers as well. Benefits of the graduate program that I really liked personally were the specific training that you get and also the professional development to guide you through the early stages of your career. You also have regular contact with senior staff and you get a dedicated mentor throughout the program. So that will help make sure that you're achieving your goals and you're happy with how you're progressing within the company. There is also a peer-led graduate program committee and an annual graduate summit, as well as regular social events. There are lots of opportunities available across all our offices, and we do offer different opportunities, engineering and logistics as well. Yeah, so just a bit more on why I think you should join Nova, and part of the reason why I believe we're a good place to work is that the remuneration packages are quite generous, and we do also have flexible working conditions. So as long as you do your 8 hours of kind of work a day, it's pretty flexible whether you start at 7, 8, 9, and then finish up how you like. As part of Nova, you also get an annual professional development allowance. So this is an opportunity to undertake any additional courses and upskill in anything that you're personally interested or in, or attend like any conferences such as the air show or other big events kind of happening in the industry. And yeah, and a part of that, there's also the personal development allowance. So this is so you can focus on your health and well-being while being at the company. So this can include like things like gym memberships or like any sporting classes and things like that, just to keep you happy and well. Yeah, and there's also the annual company conference and lots of social events. Because we do work with a lot of projects with Department of Defense, we do have access to the Defense Health Insurance and also opportunities for salary sacrificing and corporate loyalty programs. And as I said before, we are also consistently named as one of the top 50 best places to work in Australia and also most innovative companies too. Yep, so if you'd like to apply for one of these positions, which I recommend, even if it is more of like a penultimate year study for the work experience, but I like my go-to advice was always like just try anyway. Despite all that. So the essential criteria is that you should have a bachelor's degree in engineering. Aerospace, electrical, mechatronics, and software majors are preferred. And if you're looking to apply for the logistics graduate program, then a business degree with a major in logistics or supply chain management is preferred. There is a requirement that you have to be an Australian citizen, and the only reason for this is that given that most of the projects occur with the Department of Defence, you need to obtain a security clearance. So a part of the security clearance, one of the requirements is that you need to be an Australian citizen, unfortunately. So that's just one kind of clause to keep in mind with this. Yeah, and then there we have some other things that we'd probably look for. So I guess interpersonal skills, ability to work with a diverse group of clients, your analytical and problem solving skills. Yeah, a range of lists there that I'm sure we all learn throughout university. Yeah, so to give you just a bit more of a brief on my journey with Nova, so I started in February this year as a graduate engineer, and I completed a variety of different trainings. So this focused on mainly systems engineering and what this was, also a bit of explosive ordnance training and the different Nova offerings that I kind of covered before. So the test and evaluation, system safety, what to expect, and just have a brief overview of these areas. The first project I kind of got to work on was the Nova Systems Intelligent Ground Station Network. So this was an internal Nova project, and it's got to do with tracking different satellites. And the work I did more in this project was systems engineering and also logistics. So looking at all the equipment that's on site, how will everything be maintained, lots of cool things like that. And yeah, so now I'm working for the Department of Defence in the CASG Land Manoeuvre Systems branch, which is also more systems engineering and test and evaluation focus, and where I complete different tasks with the different vehicles on offer within that fleet. Yeah, and so just a bit more on why I chose Nova. Aside from the varied rotations that I kind of mentioned, I really do think the company culture is really cool. Even though we've been in lockdowns and things like that recently, we have had some opportunities to go out and actually see people in person and connect. So one of the events that I have there is we had a end of financial year party, so where we rented out a part of the bar in Storyville, and we had some magicians and cool things happening. We also had a regional trip at the start of the year. So what this is Nova takes us away for the weekend, and we can bring our families as well. And we have different things like Olympics kind of games. So you can see us with some jumping castles there. Um, yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and we have like a nice dinner that night and trivia night. So it's just all an opportunity to bond and really feel a part of the Nova family. Some other experiences are I got the opportunity to attend the United Nations International Women's Day lunch, which was a really cool experience as well. So Nova had a table there, and we got to be a part of that. And also the monthly lunches, which I always make sure I'm in the office for. The catering's really good. And we celebrate everyone's birthday who was in that month, that week is that month as well. Yep, so that's all I kind of prepared for today to show you guys. Unfortunately, the graduate positions for next year have closed by now. However, our work experience programs should be opening up late in August now, so that's something to keep an eye out for. And yeah, thanks for listening to that presentation. I think I'll hand over back to the host for any further questions.
That was really awesome, actually. Definitely very informative, and I guess like gives a good idea of what Nova System sort of stands for. Vanessa, did you have any questions for Christina?
Yeah, actually, I had quite a few questions about your graduate program. So it actually looks quite amazing. You get an allowance for professional development and personal life and stuff like that. But my question was more on like the communication within having a mentor and having teams and working on projects. How do you find the communication between like full-time employees and fully fledged engineers and the graduates?
Yep, good question. So with the mentoring program, you undertake a whole process where you complete like a set of questions about what you're interested in, what you want to work on, and then there's like a software algorithm thing that partners you up with someone in the company, and then you work with your mentor with how frequently you would like to communicate, like what you'd like to talk about and things like that. So with my mentor, we meet realistically like once a month, and we kind of go over, okay, this is the kind of things I want to work on. So it could be anything from like soft skills to how do I improve my communication, my presentation skills, literally like anything like that that you have in mind. But it also covers like where I kind of see myself going in the future. So um, on like a personal aspect, like I'm not really sure, like everything was kind of new to me when I joined up Nova Systems coming from university, because we don't really get that kind of, I guess, what actually happens in defense and like how engineering actually works. We just kind of know our theory. So at the moment, I'm kind of in a position where I just want to gain as much experience in all of the different capabilities, as many as I can. So I really like the test and evaluation things I'm doing at the moment, but I do have an interest in potentially looking at system safety and capability requirements writing and things like that. So we really discuss those things, and then I also talk to the grad program partners to try and tailor my rotation so I really get what I want out of that. In terms of the people at Nova, there's lots of, I didn't really know what this meant until I actually got into the company, but I really do think you work with interesting people in the sense like so especially some of the senior engineers, they have a lot of great experience with the projects they've worked on and just how they have developed their career. So they're all quite nice, very approachable in the company. So if you have a question, you would feel welcome to just ask and reach out to people for anything else you want to know. In terms of working with clients, obviously there is the professional aspect. So you want to be more professional with your clients and be a good consultant, I guess, in that sense. But usually in the grad program, you're partnered up with someone who's a senior engineer or logistics person from Nova Systems. So if you have questions, you can always go and ask them. So you're not kind of put in the deep end like all by yourself, not knowing where to work. You definitely will get the support in that sense.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that definitely sounds awesome. I think we'll probably ask the audience if they have any sort of questions. So if you guys have any questions that you're dying to ask, please make sure to put it in the comments, and then we'll be able to receive it and just ask straight away. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please make sure to comment, and yeah, we'll ask it straight away. So yeah, was there anything else we wanted to talk about? Vanessa, do you have any other questions that you wanted to ask as well?
I did have one about gender and gender diversity. As a woman going into a male-dominated industry, did you see anything different, either a little bit of discrimination or something like subtle sexism, or was it pretty much smooth sailing?
So I think that's also an interesting question, and a very good one as well. I think Nova's really dedicated to achieving that good diversity and making especially women feel comfortable. So later on in your career, things like parental leave and everything like that's really considered. There's a few female engineers that I know who work part-time now, like as senior engineers, just to have time to take care of their kids and also keep their job and experience. So Nova really tailors towards that. In terms of personal experience, I haven't felt like any gender discrimination or things like that. We're quite lucky at the Melbourne office. Three of our main managers are all female, which is really good to see in an engineering firm. I'm not sure what it's like at other firms, but at Nova, that really kind of makes you feel a bit, I guess, as a female, more included, and definitely approachable to see female leaders and people you can look up to. In my rotations, I think the ratio is a bit lower. However, I think I've never really felt like, oh my God, like the people are judging me because I don't know this, or things like that. Everyone's quite welcoming, and there are a lot of measures taken, like with the International Women's Day conference that we attended, which males and females from the company attended, and we really discussed like these issues of how we can make everything inclusive for anyone as well. So in terms of as a female working at Nova Systems, I really recommend it.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for like up and coming engineers who either want to get into a good graduate program or a vacation program?
Yeah, so I think with I guess it's a bit of a hard year with COVID and everything. It was kind of like that last year applying. My advice would be just apply for as many things as you can. And even if you feel like you might not meet a few of the different, I guess, requirements that we have under the things, just go for it anyway. Especially at Nova, we really look at like the extracurricular that you do and things like that. So if you're worried my grades aren't good enough, or you you feel like that personally something would deter you from achieving those graduate positions or work experience placements, I think leave that up to the HR people to decide and just apply for it anyway. Um, in terms of what you can do, yeah, if you feel like you don't have enough experience sometimes with previous internships or things like that, really try to just get uh, get the opportunity to work on your soft skills and your communication skills. So just really try to show that you can do those things instead. So yeah, and also try to network, I think, with people. Don't be afraid to reach out to people on LinkedIn. Sometimes it can be intimidating. That's like one of the things I talk to my mentor about, like, how do I actually contact this person or reach out? Like just little things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's just another group of people. And most of the time, people are really happy to share their experiences and help you out.
Yeah,
We
that's
actually
definitely a
got a
problem, I
few.
think. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Surely, I think I was just going to say, yeah, it's definitely a problem that I think majority of the engineering, I guess, students encounter just trying to talk to someone. But it is what it is. So we've got a couple of comments in, so I'll ask all of them. So I guess one of them, what was your favorite project to work on whilst at Nova Systems so far?
So I think so far, as much as I enjoyed the space project with the ground station, I think the project I'm currently working on is really cool. Unfortunately, I can't talk much about it because it's all
Yeah,
like classified information.
yeah,
But it's just kind of cool sometimes in defense. Or the thing that I found interesting was that there's like projects and capabilities and stuff that exist that we just don't know about. Like it's like a whole mini world of its own. Um, yeah, sometimes you kind of can't really see that happening. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing the questions popping up, distracting me.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes you can't really see or like picture what's kind of occurring. But defense covers all sorts of projects. It's not just like vehicles, airplanes, maritime. Like it can get so specific. Like anything that you imagine in the human world, it's like defense does their version of it. Yeah, so I think that so for me, it's personally my current project. Also, that it's quite challenging, so it's very intellectually kind of stimulating, but it's not challenging to the point where I'm stressing like at uni, like I don't know how to do this assignment, I'm gonna fail. Like it's more like there's definitely support. There's definitely yeah, people to keep you in, help you get through the different tasks and still keep you engaged. So I'd say I'm really happy with my current project at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely the dream for any sort of uni student, I guess. But yeah, we'll move on to the next question. So yeah, I think Stuart wanted to ask, is there much opportunity for below the line work through Nova?
Yep, so there's definitely opportunities below and above the line, and we're increasingly just gaining a lot of projects recently as well. So recently we had work with uh, e- the Missile Alliance with another company. So that was another project we kind of attained, and there's also some aerospace ones coming up too. So yeah, I think there's definitely opportunity for below the line work as well. Um, it just kind of come as a consultant, it kind of comes to the point where you kind of talk to your manager. They kind of have your skill sets, and then they try to really tailor you to the projects available that way. Yeah, so it's just by finding a match between the projects available and your skill set and what you can offer that project.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I think we've got another question. So what's the number one thing that you wish you knew when you left university, but didn't quite know at the time?
So one thing that you wish you knew before you left university, but you didn't know. I, d- I think a lot of people kind of scared me into full-time work. Like Like, it's kind of like, yeah, you finish university, it's the best time of your life, and then you have to work full time all the time. But I think I wish some, or it's like really scary, and you actually like what the work you do matters. But I, that's like, it's just like a kind of like another phase of your life, and it's just as exciting. Like, you don't have to give up like your social life and like things like that. So I think the number one thing would be that it's full-time work is exciting and being an engineer is exciting. Sometimes when you're studying, you kind of can forget what your like, why am I even doing this? Like, do these assignments and things like even matter? But it's like it's really cool to be able to contribute to projects and just work with people who are so knowledgeable in different areas as well. So yeah, number one thing I wish I knew is that engineering is actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just one last question. As someone who applied during COVID, especially with everything moving towards online interviews or one-way interviews, do you have any tips for student engineers who are who are going through that process at the moment?
Yep. So yeah, it's definitely difficult not being able to see people in person because you can't really read like their body language or get the vibe of how things are going. Um, I say when going through interviews, just to kind of take the pressure of yourself, just really think of it as you're having a conversation with someone, like they're just another person. Um, just looking to interview you, and you're free to like ask them questions and things as well. So try to take that pressure, like obviously be presentable and show your best self in the way you can, but just to kind of take that pressure off that you're just talking to someone else kind of going through COVID and everything in the same way. Otherwise I'd say basic things are yeah, just make sure you still like dress up, like wear your suit and things like that. Be prepared. If you do run into technical issues, like there was a technical issue during my interview as well with Nova, and I was like a little bit stressed about it. I was like, oh no, but it's like, it's not your fault. It's like, it's okay if that happens. It happens all the time, I guess, in the world. So don't let like these little things stress you out in the moment. Um, yeah, and just like I said all the time, like always just give everything your best go. You The only way to kind of get a graduate program or an opportunity is if you really put yourself out there. Um, so yeah, I think that would be my main advice.
Yeah, well, that's really great advice, and I think that's the perfect way to conclude this podcast. Thanks once again, everyone, for attending, and thank you, most importantly, Christina, for coming down today and giving us all your advice and knowledge about Nova Systems and just about the engineering industry altogether.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. I hope that was informative. And if anyone has any additional questions, feel free to just contact Nova Systems, or if you like, contact me on LinkedIn or any other source if something comes through.
Sweet. And on that note, I think we'll conclude this session. Just for everyone watching, we have an event feedback form, so we can produce better events in the future for you guys. So we'd love to get your advice and your feedback about how we went today. So please make sure to follow the link that we've got up at the moment and give us all your feedbacks. So once again, thanks for attending today, and we really hope it's been an informative experience for you all. And yeah, see you all next time.